As a designer, two ways to gain the heart of a rap artist with your album art design is when you play and entertain. Tunji again from Ceasar Graphix. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be your host today, and I'm going to be teaching you one of the ways I achieve gaining the heart of rap artists with my album art design. So sit back, relax, and keep watching. I'm going to create a new document now. So I'll go to File and click New. So I'm going to call this album arts. Okay, so because I'm not planning to print this, all right, I'm going to make the width of this 1000 and the height is going to be 1000. All right, so if this is a print project, I'm going to make my resolution 300, but because I'm planning to post this on social media, I'm going to make my resolution 72, and I'll leave every other setting as is and click on the create button. All right, so I'm going to start with dragging my background in like that, because most time when you're designing album art for rap artists, they hardly like it when their background is too flat. You need to watch the way you play with this. There are times you make the background busy, and there are times you need to make the background simple. But when you make the background busy, you need to understand the details on the outfit of the character. All right, the details on the outfit of your character determines the type of background you use on the project. All right, so I'm going to hit the enter key now, and I'm going to drag the image of my artist here, and this is going to be this big and bold, and I'm gonna hit the enter key like that. So but my background here is looking too light, so we need to make it dark a bit. So I'm going to select curve under my curve adjustment tab here. So if you don't have your adjustment tab on your screen, simply go to Windows and activate it here. All right, so I'm going to go to sorry, I mistakenly added to curve. I'm going to make it just one, so I'm going to click on this, and we are going to make this a bit darker like so. All right, like that. Then the other thing I'm going to do now is to add a gradient map. So under my gradient map here, I'm going to make sure that I'm on the thumbnail of the gradient map and not on the layer mask of the gradient map. So I'll go straight to the gradient editor here now, and I'm going to scroll down because I already created the gradient I'm going to use today. So the gradient I'm using today is this, and I'm going to quickly show you guys the color code here. So I'm going to double click on the very first color picker here, and the color code I have here is 085E08. I'll repeat again, 085E08, and I'm going to select the OK button, and my location here is going to be 0. Then I'm going to double click on the other slider here, and the color code here is E1D90B. E1D90B, and I'm going to select the OK button and hit the OK button here. Now make sure that your reverse here is not checked. All right, so yeah, so let's continue. So I'm going to move this, the image of the artist, and move it a bit to this side like that. Next thing I'm going to do now is to add depth to the image of our character. So I'm going to select curve here and click on the clip icon because I only want this to affect the layer of my subject here. I'm going to start from here. I'm going to just drag this down like that, and I'm going to move this up a bit like that. All right, so I'm going to move it just up like that. So I'm going to use the shortcut to reverse the marks by hitting Ctrl-I on my keyboard here and select the brush 2. And then I'm going to go to my brush settings here because we need to make the shadow pop and also to make our focus be on the face of our subject. All right, so I'm going to go under my transfer option here and make sure that my control here is set to pen pressure. Now I'm doing this now because I have a graphics tablet here, but if you don't have a graphics tablet, simply turn your flow down to 11 and you are going to have the same effect I'm about to apply here now. The reason why it's always good to do this is because, it's always good to be able to control the strength of your brush. All right. Then I'm going to make sure that my foreground here is set to white. All right. And if your foreground is not set to white, simply click on this icon here and your foreground will go straight to white. All right. So let's start applying the curve now to the layer. So I'm going to increase my brush size and then gently apply, the curve to our subject here. All right, so I feel like you just move this down a bit more like that, or let's just make the picture a bit bigger. This should be here. Yeah, this is good because we need to colorize the image. So like I said, when you're working on a rap artist artwork, you need to play. So part of how I play is, I'm going to apply hue saturation here now and hit the clip icon here. All right. And I'm going to check the colorize option here, and I'm going to make it 126, and I'll make saturation 29. All right. And I'm going to make lightness -8. All right. Now, when you're doing this, guys, to make sure that the color you use on the project are uniform. All right. Make sure you don't go outside of the color you have on your background. That's one of the ways you make project like this look successful and pop. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add another gradient map. All right. And I'm still going to click on the clip icon because I only want this to affect the layer of my subject here. So I'll go straight to the gradient editor, and I'm going to scroll down. I already created the gradient color here. So I'm going to select this here now, and I'm going to show you guys the color code now. I'm going to double click on this slider here, and the color code for my very first slider here is 193600. So I'm going to select the OK button, and the location is 0. Then I'll double click on the other slider here, and the color code is DA9D32. DA9D32. And I'm going to select the OK button, and the location for this is 65. All right, so let's go to the last slider here. I'm going to double click on this, and this is FADE20. FADE20. All right, so I'm going to select the OK button, and the location of this is 91. I'm going to click on the OK button, and then so I'm going to double click on this layer to activate the layer style. Now, what I'm about to do here now is I only want this to apply to the mid-tone of my character. All right, so I'm going to move from here down to this. Now, you see we're taking this out from the shadow, and I'm going to hold on Alt and split the slider, and this is going to move this way like that, and this is going to move a bit here like so. And now you see we only have it on the mid-tone of our subject. All right, then I'm going to select the OK button, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to apply black and white adjustment. So I'm going to click on the black and white adjustment here, and I'm going to select that clip icon here. Now this time I'm going to make my blend mode multiply. Now I'm only going to apply this to the shadow of my subject. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because it's always good to separate the mid-tone and the shadow when working on project like this. All right, and that's one of the ways you make your project pop, and that's what I'm trying to achieve here now. So I'm going to double click on the layer to activate the layer style, because like I said, I only want to apply this to the shadow of my subject. So I'm going to move this to this side like that. Now you see we're taking this out from the mid-tone, and we only have it on the shadow. So I'm going to hold on Alt and split the slider, and this should come this way, and this should go out here like so. Now this is looking the way I want it. So I'm going to select the OK button. Now, in order to play more with the project, I'm going to add a solid color here. So I'm going to select solid color, and this time I'm going to use red. All right, I'm going to use red like that and hit the OK button, and then I'm going to hold on Alt and place my mouse in between the color fill layer and the black and white adjustment, and click. Immediately I see the white box with the black arrow to clip this inside the layer of my subject. All right, so I'm going to double click on the layer to activate the layer style again, and I want to apply this to just the shadow. All right, so I'm going to move from this side down to this side. All right, I'm going to really move here. All right, so then I'm going to hold on Alt and break the slider, and this should move a bit here, and this should move here, should move here like that. And I'm going to select the OK button. Now we're making progress. So yeah, I'm going to click on the layer mask of the solid color layer and hit Ctrl I to reverse the mask. Then I'm going to select the brush tool and increase my brush size like that. Now make sure that your foreground here is set to white like mine. All right, so I'm going to apply the red to the glasses like that. Just apply it here. All right, so I'm going to create a layer now. I'm going to hold on Alt and click on the new layer icon and call this brush. All right, because one of the ways I always give life to my album art is when I create glow effect around my subject. And that's what I'm about to do now. So I'm going to select the brush tool now, and I'm going to hold on Alt and sample a color from this side of the project, increase the brush size, and gently apply the brush to this side of the project like so. All right, now you see we're beginning to give life to the project like that. And I'm going to create a new layer again by holding on Alt and click on the new layer icon and call this, let's just call it lights. All right, I'm going to call this lights. All right, then I'm going to change my blend mode here to color dodge and check the fill with color dodge neutral color black here. And I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'm going to hold on Alt again and sample a color from here like that. All right, then we need to zoom in this time. All right, I'm going to zoom in. Okay, and I'm going to gently apply the color to the center. Now we need to clip this inside the layer of our subject, so we need to move that there, and I'm going to hold on Alt and click to clip that inside the layer of my subject here. So I'm going to just gently apply the light effect again to this side of my layer like that. This here. Yeah, so this is good. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is to add noise to the project. So I'm gonna hold on Alt and click on the new layer icon. I'm gonna change my blend mode here to soft light. I'm gonna call this noise, and I'm going to say fill with soft light neutral color 50% gray option here, and I'm gonna select the OK button. Now, one of the reasons why I always apply noise to my project is to give it this poster feel. So I'm going to go to filter and select noise and hit the add noise option here. And I'm going to reduce my noise strength to this like that and hit the OK button. And the next thing I'm going to do, you know what? I feel like adding more depth to the lips of my subject here. So I'll go under the curve here and still make sure your foreground is set to white like mine here. And I'm going to just make this side of my subject a bit more darker like that. Do the same thing here. Do the same thing here. All right, this is better. All right, okay, so I'm going to go straight to the exercise file and drag the image of my broken glass image to the project. So I'm going to do that now and drop here like that. So I'm going to convert this to a smart object. So the advantage of always converting to a smart object is so as to not to lose the quality of the image. So I'm going to rotate this way, and this should be somewhere here. You know what, let's just change the blend mode to screen so we can see our subject as we adjust the glass image. All right, so I'm going to make this a bit smaller, and this should be here like so. All right, then I'm going to make a copy of this like that. All right, and this time I'm going to reduce the opacity a bit. All right, I'm going to reduce the opacity of this a bit. So one other thing I think we need to do before we apply the broken glass image is I'm going to hide the layers, and I'm going to stamp visible the project, and I am going to convert this to a smart object like that, and I'll go to filter, then I'll hit the camera filter option here. All right, now what I'm about to do here now is to add depth to the project. Let us add more grain to this. All right, and I'm going to add a vignette like that. All right, I'm going to have vignette. So I really want to make focus be on the subject like that. And under my detail here, I'm going to add sharpen. All right. All right. So I really want to add more contrast to the pixels. All right. I'm adding contrast to the pixels like that. All right. Then let's see. So I think this is okay. Then I'm going to select, you know what, let's just make the color pop more. Yeah, so I'll go under basic here and increase my vibrance so as to, make the color pop more. And I'm going to select the OK button. Now, this is what we have. Now, we're making progress. So I'm going to drag this and drop here like so. And I am going to rasterize this. All right. And I'm going to call this blur. All right. And I'm going to call this, let's just call this sharp, because we added the sharp effect to this. Now I'll go straight to, let's convert this to a smart object again. So I'll right click and say convert smart object, and I'll go to filter, blur gallery, and hit the field blur option here, blur strength like that. I prefer this. So I'm going to hit the OK button. All right. So then I'm going to make the glass image visible now with the noise image. And I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to use the pen tool to crop the broken glass. Then under my pen option here, I'm going to use select part. And I'm going to just crop this like that. Yeah. So now we need to convert our part to my mark key here. So I'm going to hold down Control and hit the Enter key to do that. Then I'll make sure I'm on the blur layer here, and I'm going to hold down Alt and click on the layer mask icon to cut that part out from the layer. And then we have this. All right, I'm sure you're enjoying this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, guys, remember to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. All right, so let's get back to the tutorial. So the next thing we're going to do here is to add our checkboard pattern. So we need to first add the pattern. I have the pattern in the description section of this video. So to add the pattern, all right, so you need to first activate the pattern tab. So you go under Windows here and look for pattern, and this is it here. So once you click on it, you have it on one side of your screen. So this is it right here. So I'm going to drag it here so you guys can see the way I'm going to add the pattern. So this is the pattern we're going to be using today. So to add the pattern, you go under this menu button here and look for import. So once you select import pattern, you select it and then you hit the load button. So there's no need for me doing that because I already have it right here on my screen. All right. So what I'm going to just do now is I'm going to close this. All right. And I'll go under the adjustment button here and select pattern. And then I'll go here and select this, the pattern we just imported. And I'm going to make this a bit bigger like that. Shouldn't be too big. All right. This is okay. So I'm going to select the OK button. So we need to first change the blend mode to soft lights. All right. Then I'm going to double click on the layer to activate the layer style. And I only want this to be on the shadow. All right, so I'm going to move this to this side like that. And let's see if I move it this way. Yeah, look at this. Look at the pattern we have here on the project. This is looking beautiful. I'm going to smooth the blend it. So I'm going to hold on Alt and break the slider like that. And this should move this way. And this should move out here like so. Let's move it out a bit more like that. And we need to reduce the opacity a bit. All right. So I'm going to reduce the opacity to 79 like that and hit the OK button. All right. So yeah, so let's start adding our text. All right. So I'm going to copy the name of the artist here now. All right. And I'm going to click right here and paste it. And the font I'm going to be using today is going to be Bodoni MT. All right. And I'm going to activate the free transform on this. And this should be somewhere here. We can now change the blend mode of this to let's use color dodge right there, and this should be here. And I'm going to copy the title of the album and I'm going to paste that here. And the font I'm going to use today is going to be let's see, it's called Brass Monkey. All right, so I'm going to activate the free transform again on this and make this real big, since this is the title of the album. And the name of the artist should be above the title, like that. All right, let's move this here and make this a bit smaller. And I'm going to change the color of this to white so people can see it. Okay, yeah, so this is it. I'm glad you made it to the end of this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, guys, remember to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. Share, like, and comment on this tutorial, and if you're able to achieve this tutorial, kindly post it on your Instagram page and remember to tag me. My Instagram handle is at Ceasar Graphix, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.